What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's up, folks? Happy Thursday. We about to dig into the show real quick. Give me 1 second. My bad, I forgot to turn the TV off. Nah, man, but look, happy to be back on. We got a dope conversation coming to y'all tonight. I don't know if it's dope so much. I think it's going to be more transparent. I mean, for me anyway. I don't even know if it's transparent. Let me be honest. I don't even know what it's going to be. I just know it's been rough. So, yeah, man, like, I think tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about, you can't just let life F you up. And you can spin that like we do everything from a lot of different ways. And forgive me, my smoke detector started going off last night, so just bear with me. On that one, I have it taken care of tomorrow. But no, man, back we're getting into our conversations about life to bring attention to mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of this stuff isn't an illness. A lot of this stuff is legit what you deal with in life. We try to talk about it in a different way, in a more realistic way, kind of give it more of an identity, kind of give it more of like, I don't even know if it's an identity, but kind of give it a different type of, to feel like what it is, man, closer to what it actually is versus what it's assumed to be. And, lately, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I stopped identifying my mental illness. I stopped being in the space of saying, like, I have bipolar 2. I stopped claiming it, man, because, I acknowledge it and and I'm aware of what I'm dealing with, but I don't keep putting it out there as I'm dealing with an illness that can't be resolved. It allows me to be in a space. Doing that allows me to be in a space where I can work through, what I'm saying? Like, I can push through, I can kind of stay mentally stronger in a space where, my bad, I'm messing this thing all up. Ain't nobody tell me I wasn't on the screen yet. My bad, folks. Boom, there we go. All right, what up? So, yeah, can you hear me okay? Hey, Clyde, can you hear me? All right. So, yeah, man, it's just, tonight's episode is just you can't just let life F you up. And we talking more of a space of like getting overwhelmed, man, what that look like, and from different other aspects, like we usually do, in a space of, you know what I'm saying, like giving it more of a identifying what it actually is. Depression comes from something. Anxiety comes from something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I know for me, I've been going through a lot, like just for a minute. If I saw with my family, Clyde been dealing with some things, man. But we gonna try to, we ain't structured this conversation at all. We just gonna let it flow. So I'm gonna dive right into like we've been doing. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my man Clyde on. Yo,
What's going on with you, brother?
hey man, what's up with you, bro?
Not much, man. Another day in the trenches.
You doing a move today?
Yeah, ever since like 8 o'clock this morning, man. I'm running off like 3.5, 4 hours of sleep for real.
Hey, what you been celebrating? What you been celebrating your new license? You been
No,
working?
no. Actually working. Like I had a couple of events. You know what I'm saying? You know, I still do my photography and stuff. So, so I had like a couple of videos to edit. I had like over 700 pictures to go through. Like,
look, I'm gonna hold off on sending you the videos for over there on that side of it. I mean, you got a lot going on already. I'm like, no, I'm like, nah, you need to chill, bro.
well, I'm trying to keep up, man. Then like, it's
I
a
respect
blessing
that.
for. It's a blessing for real, man. 4 people hit me up the book today, like out of nowhere. It's been,
Oh yeah,
it's definitely a blessing, though, man. So,
oh yeah. No,
so
that's cool.
I take all of it. You feel me?
No, it's definitely a blessing, bro. I'm glad you recognize that. I can't figure out this lighting, bro. Thing situation horrible for like the last few weeks. I gotta get another ring light or something.
Man, I got 2 ring lights, and I ain't even had time to really hook it up for real, for real. It's a comment in the chat too.
Let me go check it out. My bad. I have the screen for it, so I don't really catch them. Ella, what's up? How you feeling?
A plant
Get a
light.
plant light. Oh, you right. You know what? I think one
What's
I
the
have
plant light? That's like the one that hang down.
like a UV light.
Oh, okay.
Right, Ella? Is that a UV light? Something?
I might look that up.
Yeah, no, it is brighter than I think about it. Cause I had one on my, I had, if it is the same thing, I started talking. I had one on top of my lizard tank, and it's bright. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, okay, like the one people put like when they growing stuff.
like that and fluorescent lights, yeah, that's what I use for my interview. Oh, all right. No, that's a good idea. Though. I'm gonna try that. Hey, but
Thanks, Ella. I don't know you, but thank you.
Ella always looking out. I need them brownies though, Ella.
Is that live from my first video? Was talking about the brownies.
Yeah. That's my homie. That's her mother's my OG. She don't play around. Nah, man. But hey, Matt, like it was crazy, bro. Cause like, yeah, I think it was yesterday, man. I had to take a sit back and just like I went on the balcony. You're welcome. Oh my, I appreciate it. Still waiting. It's only been like 9.5 years, but you know who's counting? Nah, but like, nah, I'm messing with you, Ella. No, but like, I had to sit back, man, because I was like, for the longest time, I kind of been feeling like I've been overwhelmed and getting through it, but now I had to sit back and. I'm messing with you, Ella. No, I had to sit back and like I had to process things, but I couldn't slow my mind down and get it done. And I'm like, I think I'm overwhelmed. I made a post about it on the Facebook group, and I kind of went through my process of how I identify where I'm at, how I feel, how I break that down, and what that process kind of looked like for me. But yesterday, I was actually, as I was typing it, that was like me actually going through my actual process of figuring out what was going on and what was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I think it started off in the space where I was like, what I feel like, and breaking that down. All right, I feel like, all right, I'm stretching, but I don't feel elastic enough for what God requiring me to do. Like, whatever I feel like, I think I'm nervous or I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm faithful, but I've been standing, but I know I haven't been standing long enough. But I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's in a space where so it was, but you're getting down to a space where like, forgive me, bro, my smoke detector gonna go off. It's gonna go off for the whole show. It started going off last night.
Oh, you good. I know how it goes.
Yeah. No, man. So it was. I didn't have a chance to like sit down, man, and like really like take in a couple of weeks, like kind of like checking in how I was feeling and where I was at. So I had the balcony, and I my lizard died. That was the icing on the cake for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may seem small, but it was like, no, it was a lot of big shit, big shit, big shit, big stuff, big stuff, big stuff, big stuff, big stuff. They come home and I'm like, oh, I forgot about my lizard on the balcony, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then so I was like, it was me like being in a space of overwhelm where like I'm like, how the hell I forget that? Like, I've always know like 1 hour, like if that's it, like how did I forget that today? You know what I'm saying? So you go into that process of putting something so small over top of a day of tough marriage counseling. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you go that on top of the kids kind of, being more active than usual behavior wise, or as far as I guess the growth process, and challenging and things like that. But like all that stuff going on from some things that happened a couple of weeks ago, from my family situation to like my iPad, like all that stuff starts to compile. But as men, well, we just keep going. We go, and then you never really check in with yourself. So that was me in that space yesterday of typing out, just kind of like, all right, this is what this group is for. Like, to show you, how I kind of get through my process. And although I don't go through it a lot, as often as I used to, I still have the same struggles, even with being positive. You know what I'm saying? Even with being being mindful, even with having a therapist, even with like the shadow work. Even with having a light spirit and a good heart, like you're still going to go through his life. That's life on life. You know what I'm saying? So, but then I step back, man. I think about, like, I still thank God, bro, because like for the first time ever back in April, I felt that space of that heaviness where I knew I could have killed myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew, like I was there before, and I knew just like damn, this is what it felt like. And then so we got, hey, Clyde, let me know if we got any comments.
I look commenting.
Which you gotta know.
She said she was sorry about your lizard, and then she said you're still human and of flesh.
Oh no, I appreciate that, Ella. I appreciate that. Facts, man. Like that joint threw me off because then the kids was crying about it. You know what I'm saying? Like my youngest son was like, bro, my son take things hard like that. So it was just like, So then, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just a day of just like, man, I'm tired, bro. Like, but I didn't know I was tired. You know what I'm saying? So I just sat back thinking lightly, like making a post, like, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like next thing. But when I got to a space, I was able to identify like why I got to a space where I had to be real with myself and not toxically positive. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to just be like, you know what? This is the part where I had to work on, where it's like, no, this is messed up. Like it's heavy. Like, all right, now that I identified it as heavy, like what's next? You know what I'm saying? Like now I gotta sit down for a second, take a step back. Like my process, I gotta take a deep breath, bro. Like, all right, and now, all right, where we at? How I feel. All right, this is how I feel. I feel nervous. I feel anxious. I feel angry. I feel like I'm about to explode. I feel like I feel confused. I feel lost. I feel mad at God a little bit. I feel thankful to God a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you get into that space where you just like you start battling more flesh, and that's where the part where.
So I ain't trying to cut you off, but
you good? Go ahead.
So when you get to that space where it's like you feel all those different emotions, what's the next thing you do after that?
The next thing I do is I kind of process them. You know what I'm saying? Like each one, break them down as far as all right. Like I said, I feel overwhelmed. I feel stretched. Like I don't feel elastic enough. So then I broke it down in the space where being a husband, you know what I'm saying, and being a father, and then trying to get back on my feet and rebuild my career, and then still making sure I pay attention to myself, and then the lizard, and then the dogs, and then the family, and then football, and then the mentoring. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, bro, like, Lord, how you expect me to? Like, I know it can be done. I know I'm going to do it, but it's weird, bro, because that requires me to go to it. Like I think we all get to a phase where we dig deep, right? We all dig deep, right? But then God sometimes requires you to go deeper. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like so then you get frustrated that like, man, all right, I get it. But I'm already like, what kind of treasure could be this far down that you will require such, I guess, the depth and digging, you know what I'm saying, for the reward. And then the second part of that is like, bro, like
why wouldn't it be that deep?
Say it again.
And then the other part probably is like, why wouldn't it be that deep? If it's only meant for you to get it.
But facts, right? But think about how we grew in society and what we chase and how we chase the bag, though, right? And the reasons why, right? like
I know
reading
the
more.
typical. I know the typical way why like how we raised and like what society tells us we should be and what we should do. But at the same time, I done got to a point now
Oh
where
shit, my bad. Hey, my bad, K. I didn't know you was in there. I hope you wasn't waiting long.
I ain't even okay with. Well, yeah, I can't see the backstage nowhere. But
my bad, K. What up?
Hey.
Go ahead, Cloud. My bad.
what was I saying? See, you know that always happen, man.
I know, my bad.
Nah, you good? How you doing today, K?
Hey, Clyde.
How you doing? All right, so I ain't lagging today either. It's gonna be a great night. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is like, you know how society makes us like feel a certain type of way, feel like we have to be a certain way or do things a certain way.
Yeah.
You have to when you get to those places when you start feeling all those different emotions and you feel angry. See me, I had to learn that when I feel angry, like if I feel angry, mad, sad, if I feel all these different emotions at the same time, I know for me that's like that's almost like a recipe for disaster, right? For me to like for the trigger myself. So I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna just start with the one I feel the most right now. So let's just say it's angry. Like, so angry. Why are you angry right now? So now I'm gonna break that down. Like, okay, you're angry because you feel overwhelmed. Well, why do you feel overwhelmed? I have to ask myself these questions. Literally, sometimes I even have to say them out loud. Like, I don't care.
Tedious work, and that's tedious work, right? But
it's tedious work. But I swear, when you get into a habit of doing that, you take the power away from being overwhelmed and you give it back to yourself because you training your mind to stop yourself from taking it too far. Like, so now when you feel certain emotions, you training your mind to ask yourself, why do I feel this emotion? And that's where that's the deeper part of shadow work.
I agree with you, right? But it's just like for me, it's a step in between that, man, because before I realize I have to sit down and think about it, there's usually like a surge of energy that I get. It don't feel like a specific thing. It doesn't feel like anger. It doesn't feel like anxiety. It doesn't feel like sadness. It feel like a zing. You know what I'm saying, like it feel like when I was in a state of mania, when I used to go into mania dealing with the bipolar stuff, man. Like it's a zing you get, bro, when you can work for like 36 hours, 48 hours straight and things like that, and not really be impacted by or even realize you haven't been asleep. You know what I'm saying? So like that's where I got to the point where I was just like, let me just like, damn, my lizard just died. Like how like it's small, but it's like damn, like my
it's
lizard.
not too small. Like that's the thing though. Society has it so a point where not even just men though, people in general, they got it to a point where we compartmentalize things. Like so we don't deal with them as they occur. We suppress it because we feel like it's other things that are important right now. But see, that's the problem though, because there's nothing more important than your emotional well-being.
Fact,
And
but
so I know what you're saying, how you like your lizard died and then you just kept moving, like because you just as a man, it's like, okay, my lizard just died. Like
so it wasn't just that part of the lizard dying. It was like I said, it was a tough day at marriage counseling. It was the other daily worries you have. It was the being a father. It was it was back to school coming up, so you got to get school supplies and then going to a space where the engine went up on my car a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? And like having to look for a job and do the podcast and then try to make some things happen. It's just like, bro, like sometimes being real, like you get that stretch. You get stressed in a lot of different ways, and it's what life requires you, right? And that breaks a lot of people in that space. But I was saying, like, as far as like it's mind blowing to me. Like I was talking to my homie K last night, man, and I was talking to myself at the same time because I was just like, I came to the thought earlier in the day where it was like, like I told you, what could be so deep? Like God reminded you to dig here, and then like, why would you bury it there in me? You know what I'm saying? Like we chase a bag, we running. You know what I'm saying? Like we running for something laterally or going straight towards something when we really for any of that to work, we have to dig deep first. You know what I'm saying? Like and figure out like who we are, like where we are, like what stage of life we in.
And then that's why I kind of like I think differently because like you said, we so programmed to chase the bag, to do this, to do that. So you asking God, why would he bury it right here? That's to take your mind off of the bag because your purpose in life shouldn't go straight to the bag. It got to be something deep inside of you that's pulling you. So so that's gonna be like your passions and stuff like that. So sometimes you got to take your mind off of the bag to see what it really is meant for you to see. You know what I'm saying?
So you're right, but like I'm just thinking about where I am now, bro. And I've always been like a genuine person, had good intentions, right? But the way I looked at life as far as what money was for and how it worked and what was important, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been more patient. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it got me in a space now where, like, all that sounds great, right? If it and it is and it works, but like, man, like life, and you can't like you get caught off guard sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like
are
a lot
gonna
of
get
things,
caught
like,
off guard. You are gonna get caught off guard.
You know what I'm saying? We know all the like we get all that, like we get all that, bro. But there's always something that comes up like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like what that could, like I wasn't even expecting that.
You ain't gotta tell me, man. I just went through something this past week that kind of like knocked me off my feet. Like if you didn't pay attention, I wasn't even posting for like a couple of days because I was so caught up in life happening. But you can't stay there too long, like that, and that's the thing. You gotta catch yourself to a point. Like I had one of the biggest revelations in the past few days, just based off of that situation. When I took the moment to sit back and break it down and see why it was making me feel a certain type of way and why did it happen? Because we get in a place where we start to question why things happen in our life versus stepping back and then seeing what the lesson in it is.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like, okay, I done been through this, and this. Can't nothing else happen. And then boom, something else happened. And then we like, well, dang, what I do to deserve this? Why this happened?
You always question. You always think like bro, for the longest, that's real, bro. Because you always think like, I'm like, dang, I like, Lord, I'm a good person. Like I feel cursed. But
at the same time, you have to. I'm gonna tell you what my biggest revelation is, and then maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. But my biggest revelation is that as long as I'm on this earth, as long as I'm on this planet, and I vow that I feel like my purpose is to help other people, I'm gonna always go through something. I'm gonna go through something every single day. So I already know any day to expect anything. Like
we're on a similar path, yeah.
Because if I just wake up one day and I stop going through stuff, then that means I might get lazy. I might stop caring for myself. I might stop caring about others.
Bro. Like, you gotta keep it real. It ain't might. You going to. You like you know that you've been there. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm going to. So I appreciate. So now I appreciate when those bad things happen. I appreciate those moments where it's like self-reflection for me. And it sounds crazy to say, but I've been through so much in my life to the point where I used to feel like a victim of life. But I had to get myself away from feeling like a victim of life because I'm not a victim of life. Life didn't happen to me, it happened for me.
So that I had the same thing, right? But that joint kind of made me angry and reactive, right? Because now somebody who's always jovial and in good spirits, now I'm on the defense now and I'm spazzing and I'm reacting quick. And so we go back to like we said, we chasing the wrong things instead of digging deep. And the digging part is the most important part, man, is because if we don't know ourselves genuinely, it ain't nothing we can do to encounter this life, right? We can't to do the things that we won't realize our purpose and what's required, right? And where the value lies, because a lot of us think that, and I'm guilty of it too, with chasing what's that, man? I told you in another show before, like I chased the fantasy of getting married, like that forever love, that, you know what I'm saying? Like I seen that since a kid, that's what I wanted, but I chased that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was chasing it so fast that I wasn't looking at like the things that make that work. You know what I'm saying? Now I didn't know who I was really, so now I was just trying to make sure that I was doing everything I could in a space to make sure everybody else was taken care of, right? So you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and then, but you don't realize you ain't doing that because you're in a space where you just realize what you've been conditioned to be, what you are genuinely is, you got to be a man. Because honestly, like, who the fuck else going to do it? Like you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, but just, it doesn't mean you can't feel that shit. So basically what I was putting in the post the other day was like, God required me, like Lord talking to God in the space of you require me to dig so deep. I'm frustrated, man. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, bro. Like you see me though. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's just like I go back to talking to myself to where you see the negative thoughts kind of playing a little bit where I was, down to the positive thoughts to where I was kind of, pepping myself back up to a space where it's like, all right, I ain't got no choice but to go. I promise you I was going to continue the mission. It's hard, you know what I'm saying? But even though I'm tired, I'm in the best shape in my life that I've been in. You know what I'm saying? Like physically, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm tired mentally, I'm in the best spaces I've been ever. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's just me being patient enough now, telling God, like, all right, this is the transparent post that I'm putting out here because I don't show this side of me. This is the part that is very like sensitive to me. I'm not that vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? So everything y'all see out here, what I'm doing is me pushing way outside of my boundaries in one of the most uncomfortable times of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like how you get this stuff off, man? You know what I'm saying? Like what I don't know how you get the what's up, Ella?
You can't see no more.
Huh? I
You
gotta
can't
get
see
this
no more.
spam out. No, my bad. What was I? I never been spammed before. So nah, like you're getting to space where it's just like you. What was I at, okay? I know y'all. One of y'all remember.
You said, "Oh, life be stretching." You get to a space and then you ask how to cut off some spam.
Yeah. Like you get to a space, man, where you can get like I want to shut down, and that's my space of stonewalling. That's a space where I get into a space where it's not stonewalling because I don't want to talk to you. This is a space because I'm like I just don't know how I feel. And I have to shut down. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't express myself how a transparent moment. Oh, I was telling. Okay, thanks, Ella. Yeah. Thanks, Alan. I got that. So yeah. So the transparent moment I was being transparent, and that's my purpose with God, where I'm just letting God know, like I'm doing this stuff, man. Like I'm like I know you know it, but this is hard for me. And I'm talking to myself as where I'm showing these people my most vulnerable moments. I'm being transparent. I'm showing my thinking process. I'm acknowledging that I am overwhelmed. I'm a man at the same time. Like, but who else is going to take care of this? Like all those things that you go through in your thought process of being overwhelmed and then getting to a space where I'm like, all right, bet I'm good. I've identified why I'm overwhelmed. Let me process these and let me prioritize these. So what's important? Think, what can I do about some of the things that I'm dealing with? Is there anything I can do with them at all? All right, I've been praying. So what? You said you're faithful and you're patient, right? So patience never have an expiration date on it. Like I know you feel like you suffered enough, but who's to say you have? Who's to say, like Cloud was kind of leading towards when you in this kind of space, man? You always in the position of suffering because you know what's out there, you know what you're dealing with, and then so it's. I think I'm afraid. I was afraid of showing that side of me, man, because a lot of these spaces people expect you to have answers and to know what you're getting through, and you don't have the answers. You know what I'm saying? But I can show you how I'm getting through it. So that requires me to be in a space, man, where like you really got to do the work. How can you tell somebody else to do something that you ain't doing? And you can see if somebody's truly not doing the work. So like being married and being in the space of like I talk about everything I deal with as a man from my perspective. Like it's times where I didn't enjoy being a dad. I told y'all that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was times when I absolutely hated it. It was times where I absolutely hated being a husband. It was times where I absolutely hated myself. I hated being on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Like so now you're in a space where not like God or genuineness or truly having good impact requires you to go to another place. You can't operate in a space of good dealing with that type of darkness all the time because you're too tired to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's inconsistent. You know, so it's tough, man, because it's tough for a man to sit back and admit that he's overwhelmed because you always feel like I said, you can't. You suppose who else you gonna give it to? You know what I'm saying? Like who else gonna take care of it? But just because you can't give it up, don't mean you can't sit down and take a breath and just acknowledge the fact that all right, this is heavy. So what's next and what's required? So that's what I was getting around to. Y'all know how I ran.
So do you admit, like I know you just admitted it right then, but like do you admit it to like people in your life?
Say it again.
Do you admit to people in your life when you're overwhelmed like that?
No, because I don't realize I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think it's frustrating too in that space because I usually can identify when I'm getting overwhelmed. So I can kind of tell my wife, like, babe, all right, I know you're frustrated, but I'm a little overwhelmed right now. Just give me a second. And you know what I'm saying? Like, but when it comes into a space where you just get, I guess, crackback by, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't do nothing but take the hit, get up, take a breath, and get back into the play. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. But sometimes maybe you need to go to the sideline. I'm saying let somebody else get a play.
It's all right to take a knee sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to take a knee sometimes, man. You got to. And you gotta be comfortable enough to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. My bad.
I don't know what's going on. I think people blinking in and out. Ella posted a comment.
That's where
Too flipping tired to fight, but I keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's the place where like we gotta be okay with like just really because that's the most important part, man. That's the part I struggle with. That's the part where you gotta be okay with taking that breath and taking that step back. And you gotta force it because life ain't going to just say, all right, here you go. This time I got for you to kick back and put your feet out. You gotta, hey man, hey. Give me a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when you come back, while you resting, you already know what you gotta get to. You already know the pace you gotta run. You already know the level of that you gotta attack these things. But you can't do it without taking a knee sometimes. There's no way your mind, your heart isn't built to be always going all the time, not rest in between beats. You know what I'm saying? Like your mind isn't, your gut isn't required to go all day long. Like, so you have to give yourself the biggest part of that, the break to sit back and kind of just take things in and identify, like, man, like I said, all right, it ain't just my lizard dying. It was the situations that I had throughout the day. My engine was going up that I really ain't on my car, and like being positive about that, but at the same time being like, what the F, and then going back into the spaces of like you've been through over the last year and a half, and when you look by all this stuff is compiled, and you just like, bro, like ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's. But then at the same time, no, you just starting off. This is what required. It ain't no other time. If you don't hit this with everything, you ain't, bro. You're going to be in the same space, if not worse, where you came from. You know what I'm saying? And I think I sat back and thought about like what, like the power of having my faith back, man. Because when I lost my faith, I lost my faith, bro. I don't, and it's weird because like nobody really knew like my level of spirituality when I was like. Ever up until recently. So when I lost my faith, it was nobody to be like, hey, no, like until probably 7 years, like until I got sick, I come across some of my best friends in life right now. My daughter's godfather, my really good friends, my brothers, right? During that time where I gave up on God and I came out of the hospital and I was in church, like by myself crying, like, no, I'm like, it's over. My marriage over. Like my kids have seen me after up. It ain't no way I can bounce back from this. It ain't no way, right? And then kind of giving into a space of God where I was just like, all right, Lord, like, I don't want to do it. I don't. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, if you ask me to come back again, if you see me and you look me in my face and you tell me, Devin, I need to go back and do the exact same thing. I don't want to fucking do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it getting to this space of where I had to rebuild my faith, it really took a space of a mustard seed because I had to look for good. I had to find good. I've seen so much bad. I've experienced the worst out of everything. I tried to make the good play out and work for my advantage, and never ever seemed to go in a space where it worked out for me. And now I'm in a space where it's requiring me to give the opposite of what I know is out there and what I've been groomed to respond to through my trauma and naturally doing without thinking. So now you're telling me that okay, everything that you gave me to survive and you taught me to survive, you asking me to trust in something I can't see. You know what I'm saying? Like you asking me to get into that space where like this is what faith feel like. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing makes sense. Nothing. So you asking me to go ahead and all right, bet I got you. I'm gonna give it to you. I don't know what I'm doing though, so show me. And then he's been leading me in a space, bro, where like I look at everything we do as far as like my prayer life. I look at what we talked about earlier as far as a therapist and things like that. It's not a space where like it don't fix everything all the time, but it is kind of like a solar panel. You know what I'm saying? Like in the daytime, that joint is absorbing all the power you need to kind of make it through your dark times. So if you don't have that, you don't have a faith to kind of hold on to, bro. Like you don't have hope. You know what I'm saying? Like you really can't have hope, and therefore, like how can you get to the next level in that space? So it was either stay in this space of darkness, stay in this space of fear, stay in this space of coldness, stay in this space of failure, stay in this space of regret. Look back and say, all right, it's been 10 years, but I don't want it to be another 10 more years. I'm going to be if I'm staying here and I'm fighting through this shit. You know what I'm saying? So what am I going to do to kind of make this work for me? You know how that go, bro. What you
tell me. If it 3 years ago, I was 29 years old, three years ago, and I literally had to unpack 29 years of my life 3 years ago, and I've been unpacking ever since. So I definitely know how I feel, man. Especially once it got a title. Once I went to the doctor and was diagnosed, and like it had a name. Oh, that it made it even worse. Then
it felt better. It felt like it was embarrassing as fuck, right? Because for me anyway, because when I learned, like when I went into the hospital, man, I immediately came out and found out like close people to me went into my medical history, my medical profile at the hospital and saying, you know what I'm saying, what I had. So I couldn't figure out like how people know what I was dealing with. And then, you know, somebody reached out to me and told me my profile had been violated. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, and then like my wife did some investigation, you know, found out, you know, like who it was and things like that, man. But that part could have tanked me because it was like, I'm already ashamed. I'm already embarrassed of this shit. Now somebody know. But on the other side of it, it was like, let me take this and see what I'm dealing with now. You gave me a name for you telling me these. You telling me these are the 5 major, or these not the 5, but these are the specific things, and I need to watch out that are making me feel this way. So logically for me, it's in a space where, all right, how can I counter that? You know what I'm saying? Like I look at life from like a competitive edge. It's like, all right, or like doing what can't be done. All right, if you said it can't be done, let me see if there's a way though. It's gonna be real subtle, but you may not even know I'm working on it. But if I figure it out, you're gonna know it. But if I don't, it's gonna keep going. That makes sense.
I got to give you football talk because you're looking at it like a scouting report. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. Like, but it's because you have to, bro. Like, because you gotta have plays for this. You gotta be prepared because you don't catch it when you're in depression. You just you feel like you're chilling. You just taking a break sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like you just called out because you okay with the facts you called out, and now the 4th time you look at it like I just called out 4 years in a row for. I'm in the bed. I ain't doing nothing. I could have went to work today, and then you realize like why did I do it? And then you go into a space of oh snap, like I was overwhelmed. I didn't feel like going to a space of anxiety that I went to bed from last night. Now I gotta wake up to the same. Shit, I gotta go in here and see this. Shoot, my bad. I said I'm gonna stop cussing. Shoot, instead of going to go this far. Shoot, I gotta go take care of this that I didn't do yesterday. I gotta make sure the kids are fed. You're waking up into this. You're going to bed and waking up to the same anxious cycle, and you always in a state of fight or flight because all right, Kay gonna chill today. She said she good. She gonna holler at us. Hey, Kay, hope you're feeling better, man. I can tell you were a little tired. It looked like it. So like. Ella said it's a violation. What happened? My bad, Ella. What you talking about? Clyde, go ahead, my bro. I lost my train of thought again. I'm not. I told you it's been a rough week, but I'm not focused for nothing.
Ella commented.
I know. I see it. She say that's a violation. Okay, well, the first step is not only depression. Yeah. That's so. Acknowledging that, man, is the biggest key in that because it's then you can identify what you're up against. Thanks, Ella. You be on top of it. It identifies. You know what you're up against. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're up against depression, if you're up against anxiety, if you're going up against anxious, the first thing you got to do, man, is sit back. So how do you do that? You be mindful. You sit down, you do yoga. You know what I'm saying? You meditate. I listen to some music, go for hikes. You know, anything that's going to make me kind of sit and just be in the moment and just kind of be able to kind of quiet my mind and just take in like, the duck got his head under the water. You know what I'm saying? While walking around the pond. Simple things like that. You know what I'm saying? It kind of helps me get into a place of processing. Like, man, I'm tripping. Like, it's not even that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like I said, like I got a lot to say tonight, and then I got distracted because I was hoping Kay was cool. So, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I'm over here too, man. I don't want him to reach out. Like,
nah, she good. She good. She good. She was supposed to be on here tonight for real. That's why I didn't check to see if she was backstage. So I appreciate you trying to hop on. Okay, so nah, man, and keep on fighting over that, dog. Like, so it just puts you in a space, man, where I think.
See, okay, go ahead. I'm just reading this comment, but go ahead. That one.
I literally tell people I'm in depression. I'm unable to handle anything else. I mean that's real though. But that's the part where you have to.
That's a boundary.
That's a boundary, and you have to acknowledge it for it to be a boundary. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's because you have people out there, man, that don't respect this type of stuff. You depressed, man, get over it. You got life. You got it now.
Oh yeah,
life. But let me just deal with this real quick. I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? But let me just deal with this real quick, and let me just quiet this monster on my back real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you handle it right, it don't take you long to get through it. But if you don't handle it right, you can live in that joint for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because you got like I said, life gonna keep life, and man, that junk it's gonna keep going. So when you think about, like I said earlier, where like chasing like the bag and chasing love, like think about everything else we chase though. You know what I'm saying? Like the accolades and things like that. But you really, in order for all that to feel right, you got to dig deep down inside and figure out who you are, because those accolades can lead you into more despair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for the average person. But see, I don't know, man. I think differently. Like I feel like I think differently. I never was the type to like chase accolades or to chase recognition and stuff like that. Even so, to the point where I had a habit of not celebrating my small wins, but you got to get to a point where you celebrate you. Like if you celebrating the people around you, you congratulating everybody like for doing good, and you uplifting everybody else. You have to take time to do the same thing for yourself. So that's why, like stuff like posting my new license that I just received yesterday, posting stuff like that. That's important to me. That's celebrating myself, because that's me telling myself like, look, you know where you've been, look where you at now, but keep going. Like, so that's my way of telling myself, and celebrating your small accomplishments and your small wins is a way of celebrating you. It's a way of celebrating you. It's you telling yourself like, look, I remember where I used to be, because don't nobody really know your story for real other than you. Like, don't nobody know it like you knew it.
Nobody care though either at the same time.
And at the same time, they might not care either. But guess what? I'm gonna celebrate me. I don't care if nobody else is gonna celebrate me too. Like, but at the same time, if I'm celebrating me and you following my journey, because you gonna see it. If I post it, you gonna see it. So if you following my journey, just as much as I go a year down the line, 6 months down the line, you can look back like, dang, boy, I remember. I got people on my Facebook that still remember when I was posting depressing stuff on Facebook about to kill myself. Yeah. And they hit me on my inbox telling me, boy, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the growth and stuff that you have achieved along the way. And me, sometimes I get so lost in my life, I don't even see it. I barely even see it, but they watching. People watching, regardless if they say it or not. If they ain't saying nothing, they definitely watching. And people hitting me up was definitely proof of that. So that made me realize, like, okay, your life is actually valuable. Your life means something, because people are paying attention to your life, regardless if you know it or not.
No, that's facts, bro. That's facts. And I think that's the hard part about talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not like you.
And then, but see, it's crazy because a lot of people get stuck in that space where you celebrating the small wins and stuff, and then you get caught in a place where somebody might say, "Oh, it look like you bragging," or like you showing off, and then you get stuck in the middle of that right there. But I don't think celebrating your small wins is bragging at all. I don't think that's not bragging at all. I'm not gloating with what I mean. I'm celebrating that I'm no longer where I used to be, and I got so much farther to go. Like, I'm humble with mine. I'm not out here like I got this money now, boy. I ain't broke no more. Y'all peasants. Y'all ain't got nothing. I'm not doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, this where I used to be, and I'm still not done yet. I got a long road ahead of me.
Yeah, fact. No,
and I feel like that's what the difference is. But a lot of people be scared to celebrate their small wins because they don't want people to think that they brag.
I mean, like that too, but I think it's also sometimes it's a battle within too, as far as confidence in some cases.
Exactly. And you know if my confidence offends you, then that's a you problem. That's not a me problem.
It's the same way as triggers. I'm not responsible for your, you're not responsible. You're not responsible for my triggers. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. So if something I post triggers you, then you need to ask yourself, why did him posting that make me feel this type of way? Why
can nobody get past Can nobody get past that, bro? Like,
exactly. But some people just gonna be them. I don't look to change people. Like, I'm just doing me to the best of my ability. If my life can be a reflection of anything of hope or change for somebody else, then I want it to be that. But if I'm not gonna beg you to work for a better life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what we tend to do. People with good hearts, we tend to want to pull everybody with us. the people that we care about the most, the people we love the most, the people that we see, we tend to want to bring them with us. But at the same time, you can't allow nobody to drag you down to where they at. You gotta keep going. The ones that's meant to follow and the ones that's meant to see your life journey, your transition, they gonna be the ones that do so without you having to pull them by the teeth. I shouldn't have to babysit you. Like every time I turn around, I gotta, boy, why you doing that, man? You know, you said you wanted to accomplish this, so why you doing that? Like every once in a while, it's cool, but I shouldn't have to do that every single day. Like, you gotta want it for yourself. And I had to get to that point too, where that's one of them healthy boundaries, like we was talking about last week. Like sometimes you gotta get to a place where you set that boundary. Like I can't, just like she just said, Ella said, she was like,
Ella going off tonight.
Yeah, Ella said, I'm going through depression. I can't handle anything else right now.
Ella, yeah, hey, I put that for a second. Hey, but that's real. That's real though, man. But it's so like saying all that, bro. Like you get back to a space where like I think the direction of the title, I guess what I came up with tonight was just like, man, don't let it F you up because it can and it will. You know what I'm saying? There's a level of effed up that if you've been blessed enough to not experience it, that it exists and it's darker than you can imagine. And I believe that's the form of hell that they talk about in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Like so it's like you gotta kind of sit back and you gotta be like you gotta know yourself, right? To anchor all this stuff, man, to get through any of it smoothly, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like you really gotta sit down and you gotta like know yourself at different levels and different ages. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you gotta be okay with what you didn't know. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so as you get older, I'm saying in a space of all right, as you mature, your level of awareness and spirituality and wisdom starts to bestow you. You realize some of the things you did, like even if it wasn't crazy, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and then like the lessons learned from that and the way you are now and how you able to pass down wisdom to the younger generation. But the younger generation don't want to hear you. You know what I'm saying? At all. They just like, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. So talking about this stuff in this space, if we dealt with this in our generation, man, these kids are going to experience something 10 times worse than what we experience. And the way they're being conditioned by the internet, dog, like they constantly always being mental stimulation, always being mentally stimulated, and they're responding in a way of you see addicts respond, like you know what I'm saying, like it's a lot of times it's so detrimental we don't realize the impact of it yet, but we won't feel it soon. So it's talking about these things, man, is how talking about how these things are getting you down, man, as far as like it's okay to give up, you know what I'm saying? But don't quit. Like saying it out loud is, as a man, it feels crazy. Saying it in a space where it's like, man, I gave up 1,000,000 times, but I ain't give up. And I didn't quit. I mean, that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's like okay, like why did I give up? All right, I had to give up because I was dealing with the illness I didn't have. You know, I didn't know existed. I'm dealing with I'm thinking I'm soft. I'm thinking I'm just not responding to life appropriately, or something's going on and not knowing there's a medical explanation for this stuff, right? Even if you argue it and say mental illness don't exist, bro, like the symptoms that I felt and the state that I was in, that was a real illness. That was something that got bad and evolved into something worse. You know what I'm saying? So like to get through any of that bipolar stuff, I had to learn who I was then with dealing with the thing, and then figure out how I got to that space. And then I had to learn to be cool with the process. What'd you say, bro?
Ella comment.
What'd you say? Let's see. It's okay to redirect. You don't give up. You redirect with the path of creating a different path. Yeah, but I mean, even if it's not, I agree. But you don't always have to change paths either. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just give up on like quarterly. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't hit the goal that you wanted to hit, third quarter, all right, I ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna go ahead and fall back and chill. Let me get the break so I can come back strong in the next quarter. You know what I'm saying? So it's in that space where it ain't you're not quitting. You're just giving up on how you normally think.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of another. I feel like it's just revising. It's just revising your plan. I don't like the term giving up. Like, because it sounds like quitting. Like, even though you're saying you giving up, but you're not quitting, it still kind of feels like you're saying giving up. So maybe it's more so not giving up. Maybe it's just more so just revising your plan. You're taking a moment to step back to reevaluate things before proceeding. That's all that is.
I mean, so yeah, I agree with you, right? But then that's also in a space to me, bro, where it's like not acknowledging the monster in the room, because I like, for me, I'm not the only person that gave up, bro. Depression is giving up. You know what I'm saying? Like the level of depression that I experienced, that where I couldn't get out of the bed, I couldn't do all that. That was a space, a depth of depression I've gotten to because I gave up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, dealing with depression over the course of the years, and dealing with like okay, putting all these years in my pharmacy education, putting all this stuff into a pharmacy, a pathway, a career pathway, and then realizing that, all right, I still want this, right? But these things, I have to realize, I have to be smart too, and realize these things aren't falling into place anymore. The opportunities, for whatever reason, like, there was a stigma on mental illness that when majority of people found out, it kind of, with the combination of what I was dealing with as far as, I guess my habits of moving throughout that day, it wasn't comfortable for farmers to be operating in the farm within the pharmacy space, and I understood that. But then you go into teaching, and then that don't work. You're trying to find, all right, maybe it's just 2 more years. I'm gonna give it 1 more year. I'm gonna find something. Because they know me. I grind. I work hard. And then nothing comes to space. That was a place where I had to give up and be okay with giving up, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be in a space that's working for me and that's working for other people within this mentoring space. That makes sense.
That makes sense. I got you.
So like it ain't a bad thing. I think that it's to give up, and because I think for me, bro, I being in a place back then of giving up and knowing I'm giving up, it put me further in depression. You know what I'm saying? So now in this space now, it's like, it ain't work. But all right, why it didn't work? Oh, that wasn't on me. That was just something I didn't see coming down. You know, that was going to tank anything. But I'm glad that made sense. Would you say, Ella, you were flipping great in the pharmacy? Your OG said, see, I learned that's why I call her my OG, because she showed me the ropes. She showed me how to grind out in the pharmacy and kind of make the best of it, and where to go make the money at.
For sure.
As a tech, man, like I ain't like I was tied up in the debt, but I was blessed, especially before 2009 hit, because I was getting to the point when I was getting out of debt, just out of pharmacy, bro. Like, that 1 year I had made like $96,000 just working 2 jobs. Like, that was pre-2009 before the recession. I was just about to get caught up on everything. Child support, everything, bro. As soon as that joint hit, and then that's when my cousin got killed, and that's when depression came on. Real bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where, like, the relationship I was dealing with was going down the pipes. I knew it, and I just felt like everything was just flushing down the toilet. And I was just like, it puts you in a space of just despair and just like, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
But it like, you got to be okay with getting to a space of like, this ain't, I give up, like, and I'm cool with it. Like, it hurt.
That makes sense, bro. When you put it like that, because I have heard people say, like, millionaires or people who are wealthy, they know when to quit. Like, they are. I wish I can remember the exact quote that man said, but he was like, he don't like the quote "quitters never win" or something like that, because when you are constantly growing, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna learn, like, okay, well, this didn't work. What can I change? Do something else. This didn't work this time. Let me change this. Quit that. See, he was like, people who are wealthy and people who are millionaires know when to quit.
Yeah.
And when to do something different. You know what I'm saying? So when you said it that way and you broke it down that way, that made sense.
Yeah, it's like you apply it to everything. You apply that to, like, relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to give up on some relationships, friendships, like love lives and things like that. So it's not just saying, it's, you got to look at, you got to be on your guard from all angles. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least catch some of the punches coming from behind your head. You got to stay bobbing, weaving, and stay moving, man, because, like, I try, if I could yell, if I can go back, and if I can make a movie or go back and film, like, what my world looked like back then when I was dark, man, what I felt like versus who I genuinely was and who I am now, like, it's a scary place. Bro, that's the scariest stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Is that a passion for you?
What's that?
Making a movie?
I'm not gonna say it, bro. Like I have the one thing I'm starting to learn is that I'm creative within the space. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
Right. Being, I don't know if you found your purpose yet, but a piece of advice that helped me figure out what my purpose is everything deals with creativity for one. So once you figure out something that you're creative in, hold on to it. The second thing you're going to hold on to is what is something that you can do for free of charge and not mind doing. That's the second thing.
That's you're right. I got
and both of us probably right now neck and neck with this right here. What we doing?
Yeah.
And in the creative space, as far as creating content and stuff.
You're right, but it goes into the space that I think when we first rap, I'm doing a documentary. You know what I'm saying? I have this way that I have it in my mind, bro, where I just, for bringing light to mental illnesses is different. So it's just, I guess it's me just getting to a space of not even comfort, but finding, I don't know what it is, but you know what I'm saying? Like
I think personally, for me, and don't be mad at me if it comes off abrasive, but maybe you're just in your own way, bro.
No doubt. No, and that's
because I'm in my own way sometimes too, because I be wanting to do like little TikTok videos, little content where I like reenact scenes of how I used to feel going through certain things, certain emotions. Yeah. But then I'm like, and I get to another place where it's like, well, how you gonna do that? It's gonna look crazy. You ain't good at editing. You ain't did this. But guess what? I would never be good at editing if I never do it. So it's like, it's kind of like you stuck in between a place where it's like you got to jump off the ledge and just do it.
It's that, right? It's a little bit of that, but it's also a space of like already having like things that I'm working on. So like a lot of those, I'm not to say that I don't want to pursue any of those, but they're not in priority right now. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, the whole thing is mentoring program, consult contract, going all the way down like to the podcast. Like I told you, we're gonna make the podcast real, real smooth right now for the next 2 months as far as doing we got, and then once these 10 get settled, ramp it up a little bit. But it's me breaking down my elephant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's the most important part of the what's the most nutritious part of this elephant, and how can I eat it, and what do I have to do? You know what I'm saying, to consume the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if that makes sense. So it's not that it's not there.
It's a plan. It's
a plan. It's like, all right. So once the podcast get going, the book. Once the book get going, then you got the clothing line. Once the clothing line gets going. Once that gets going, you got the documentary coming out. Then you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's
we just twins, bro. You don't even realize that we twins for real, bro. Because I started with the clothing brand, and then I started doing the content. I already finished my first book. I haven't put it out yet. Okay. I'm just sitting on it right now because it's one of them things where it's like I want to put it out in a way where it can reach the most people.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Then it's like, Negro, you never wrote no book before. Like I done sent it to editor and everything, and then it's like that's one of them things where I just get in my own way. Like
you're in your own way. I was about to say that. But we in there more likely than not, man. But like we getting that like if we sit down, we real with ourselves, man. Like a lot of the time we're in our own way because
Ella is funny. I'm telling you right now, Ella is hilarious over here.
We said do the TikTok. So I'm not. Look, I know.
She said she gonna do the cameo, bringing the brownies, bro.
What's this?
And then that last one about writing the book.
I said, no. Hey, Hope got a book. Hey, bro, man, that's one for them. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like she tied into the Lax family. So just off of that, bro, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying. Okay. So it's like she ain't lying. If Hope, that's why I call her my OG, because she told me a little bit about a lot. You know what I'm saying. So it's in that space, man, where like I don't know, bro. Like I'm trying to think about how to talk about this joint for the last 30 minutes in the space where like, but I can't get comfortable enough to get to that space. I can't get vulnerable enough to get into that space. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a space of like all right, like like so like really digging into like the thing, and there's nothing wrong with it in the space. It's that space of like you got all these things you got to take care of that side, right? We just talked about, but now the overwhelming piece that we talked about earlier, right? As far as the things you're dealing with, and then you get into a space of you deal with the past thing that you deal with comes back and then adds to the present naturally sometimes. And even if you heal, you still, but there's no way you can blank. You can do it. There's no way you can healthily blank out things that have happened to you, for the rest of your life. You can know how to deal with it, but you can't always. You caught off guard with it. So something bad happening, but it's the same week as the anniversary of one of your cousins or one of your aunts or your mom.
So it's a thing where whatever that event is, it's in your mind attached.
You only had to realize it, bro. You only had to realize it.
But see, this how tricky your mind is, though, because I pay attention to your words and how you said it, and I don't even know what the situation is. It could be anything, but you've already attached it to the event that happened to your cousin. So now, anytime it gets to that week, and you think about your cousin or you think about that date or whatever like that, it's automatically attached to that other thought because you attached them together.
No, so it ain't. Yes, sometimes it is that, right? But like more times it's in a space where, like in the sense of you being tired, like you miss somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like so you sitting back and you just like and you think back when times were better, right? And then times were better, you had the person that has been that had deceased or whatever, or multiple people that deceased, and then you will see like growing up in the hood, bro, and growing up in a family like I have, like you see the good side, and then you see when things are starting to get tough, and then you see where things can ultimately go sometimes, and that shatters people. You know what I'm saying? Because it changes perspectives of lives. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so with where yes, I agree with you, but I went for years, bro, almost a decade, where like my body went into a space, man, where like I'd be moving, I'd be good, I'd be thinking I'd be in a good spot. I'm like, bro, like I tell my wife, like, if they feel off, like something just don't feel right. Like I feel like I want to go cry. You know what I'm saying? Like so then you sit back and you think about it and it hits you like, oh, it's this date or it's that date or this happened or this conversation happened or this is when, like those things naturally come back into your space because you're gonna have memories. You know what I'm saying? So like you have to learn like those things that we talked about earlier as far as like your solar power of going to your therapist and doing the shadow work and staying ahead of it and staying positive and being mindful and practicing good breathing and getting out into the environment and exercising and all that stuff charges you up for the times that are sure to come your way that also like that requires your strength. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So what's your LSA that when you're doing this, you ate surrounded by absolute genuine love. We are all there where you support. Nah, no doubt, Ella. No. I most definitely appreciate that. I'm not in that space of I'm not down though. You know what I'm saying? Like I really am in a space of just like I guess I'm like feeling like kind of sitting back and just kind of like just going with what I feel, going with what things feel like. So it's it's me acknowledging that all this stuff is compiled. It's not just something that's I don't know how to break it down. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. Like it makes like it's just something that's just all on top of each other, and it's one big ball of goo. And like you can't really pull it apart to kind of explain it, but trying to explain it is the hardest. Like it's hard putting it into words. You know what I'm saying? Like there are times when I can sit and I can translate well a feeling into words. But there's some things, man, that like I don't know if it's just me being uncomfortable having to explain it. I don't know if there are words that can explain these type of places where somebody could really understand if they haven't been there. So it's that space where like the stuff that's happened isn't normal stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not everyday stuff.
But all right, this is another thing where it may not be to you, it may not feel every day. To me, it may not feel every day, but it possibly could be an everyday thing to somebody. Meaning that just because somebody out here, like, see, that's another thing, like with me, like, and what I've been through and stuff like that. Like, I don't have no problem talking about it because somebody right now It could be somebody watching this video. It could not be somebody watching this video. Somebody may be feeling the exact feeling that I'm feeling or have felt in my life, but by me not being vulnerable enough to talk about it. And yeah, you got to get to a space when you comfortable yourself. Can't nobody force you to do that. But if you don't never get to that point, you will never help nobody who may be going with that thing, and maybe your healing, maybe your personal healing, right on the other side of talking about it. Like,
but true, that's true, right? But then you dig deeper, bro. Like think about the side of things where like it's in life where there are things that happen that you can't talk about in some cases. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what?
So you
not unless if it's gonna send you to jail, then no, don't talk.
That's what I'm saying. Like some people's lives are like really that different, bro. Where it's a lot of folks, and I'm finding out now out here, man, where it's just like I say all the time, like I had to forget some things I never thought I would see. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you in that space, man, and you just you gotta eat that alone, bro. Like and it gives you a sense of awareness. It gives you a sense of how you're supposed to move in a space where everybody else is moving like in La La Land. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's I'm not saying that in that particular space that you're coming from. I'm saying in the space of like, yeah, bro, like you got that, you got the grief, you got to deal with, you got the past traumas, you got the relationship trauma, like stuff on top of that, and you got goals, you got to survive, you got to feed, you got to take care of yourself and all that other stuff. That's not just me. That's a lot of men out here in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's when that stuff turns into weight. And there's no telling when that stuff can hit you. So when you're in that week of like your morning and your body, you don't know what your body does. Your body does though. It puts that level of like how is this real like cold? And it's like a sweaty heavy. It's like you got a 100-pound body weight on. You know what I'm saying? Running with that joint. It's heavy. It's cold. It's you got to go. You got to keep going. You got to get to the task, and it puts you in a space of like survival a lot of times. And sometimes that natural sense of survival, if you don't have it in control, it pops up. And that's when you start, all right, you lose your job, you start panicking. Now I gotta go hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like you get impulsive in that space. And I know my biggest thing that I had to work on was being impulsive. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. If that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, what's the last thing you said about being impulsive?
Like being in that space of survival makes you impulsive naturally.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so the things you grabbing that don't even make sense. You're in a space now, you're just trying to survive. So you want to, or you just tired of feeling pain. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna impulsively kill yourself. It's not always a space of depression. It's not always a space of sadness. Sometimes you're like, oh shit, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's
I think, see, I don't know. I think it is the depression though. It can't be nothing else. You might not think it's the depression, but at the root, that's what it is. And maybe not even at the root, because at the root is the trauma. The depression is more so closer to the surface. That's more so the diagnosis, but the diagnosis comes from the trauma itself.
I agree, right? I agree, but I've seen it. I've seen some real Chuckies in this world from birth. You know what I'm saying? And not to say everything that happened within that space of, but like there's intentional demons out this joint. You're gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people that want to do you harm. Like no matter what type of spaces you're in, so you have to be aware of that space. You got to move accordingly when you know it's out there. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I'm not.
But see, I just posted a TikTok. I just posted content literally about what you just said before we got on live, bro. And I said it's people out here who think that not supporting you is gonna stop you from getting where you want to be or where you need to be. It's
you're right.
People who out here who just genuinely not gonna like you or just hate you because you're you.
But bro, but there's people that so my path showed me that people will kill you for not they can stop you. They can stop all of that stuff. They will kill you.
They can't though. They really can't. They really can't though, because I don't.
They can't kill your spirit, but they can physically kill you.
Oh, they can fit. But see, for me, my faith is beyond my faith is way beyond that of the flesh. You feel me? Like because we believe in God, and I'm saying some people believe the Bible, some people believe other things or whatever like that. But when I say my faith is beyond anything on this earthly realm. It literally is, bro. Nobody, I'm protected. You feel me? Like, and I speak highly about myself. I speak highly about the situations and stuff that I go through now, even though I used to be at a point where I didn't. When I say can't nothing stop me, I mean that. Like, can't nothing stop me, like, because that's where my faith is at. My faith is so strong that I don't even put the negative thought in my head that, I know it's a reality. Like, if somebody get tired of you living and they can do whatever they want to, you know what I'm saying? But I don't even speak that kind of stuff over my life. You feel me? I don't even think.
That's the part. Like, that's the part where I think I've been like blessed to see. I'm not even. I used to say curse. Like the blessed to see. Like Lord, why would you give me this heart and then put me around like this? Like you know what I'm saying? I can match energy like in this space. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like to. I don't want to. So it's in that space, man. I don't want to invest in this, right? But Lord, you put me in a space where I have to survive through it. So I'm not saying in the space that you're wrong. I'm saying in the space of realizing when you see certain things through a certain lens, a different life, and you walk in different shoes.
And I understand what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. But I heard a question that you just asked.
What's that?
You said, why would God give you that great heart and put you around all of that? Because maybe it's you and your good heart who's going to shine your light on the people around you.
So that's all. So that's the part where you realize now at 40, right? But you don't realize that in the space of where you're going.
You don't understand it when you're going through it.
So that looks like rejection, right? Because like I want to go out there and chill with y'all. Nah, cause like you take your ass back in the crib, bro. You got too much going on. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like something jumping off, having like getting overly aggressive because I had to prove that I can fight you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like so. It was never in a space where they like, nah, sit your ass down, we got this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can go do it together. You ain't doing it on your own. So it was always in a space, man, where like I thought that they thought I was a sucker or a chump, not that they were preserving me, allowing me to be who I was. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Ian? What's up, dog?
What's up, Ian?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it put me in that space, bro, where I couldn't be who I thought. Like getting molested right off the back, boom. I already had to like still I'm young and realizing like life ain't what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like realizing like how do people over here laughing and smiling when I just seen my mother crying, you know what I'm saying, and sad for the last few days. You know what I'm saying? Like so it just give you different perspectives to where like your survival puts you in the space of where you have to kind of see those things. So where you want to be positive, like and you see people do things every day, right? But you've also seen or know of something where somebody got their life ended over something smaller. You know what I'm saying? Like it gives you like that way, that scale of life.
And then this is how I think. Like you asked the question, how this person over here smiling, and then you seen your mom crying. Like you seen your mom crying for the last past few days, not knowing that just 2-3 months ago that this person that you see smiling was crying in their bedroom. Damn, they're about to kill themselves. Like, so it's like
you don't process that at 9, 10.
No, hell no, you don't process that.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but your job now as an adult is to have those uncomfortable conversations, to go back and sometimes you have to relive those uncomfortable moments. So you can get to the root cause of what's making you feel the way that you feel. That's what real shadow work. That means going all the way back. Like I had to go all the way back to 2 years old.
You go back to like 3 or 4, bro.
No, I had to go. I'm talking to 1, like 1 year old.
Hey, what up, Turtle? My bad. Go ahead. What up, man? Turtle says speak, bro.
What's up with y'all going on in the chat? Like sometimes you got to go back. Like I had to go back to me 1 year old, 2 years old. Her and my mama crying through her room door because she's trying to protect me from her crying over my dad. And I'm crawling in her room taking her tissue. Like she tried to protect me, and I'm this trauma for me, and like stuff like that. That's why life is about growing. Like you learn every single day. Like you ain't gonna never stop learning. If you ever stop learning, then you're gonna stop growing at the same time. You will never know everything. You gotta listen to others so you can get different perspectives, and you gotta apply what's necessary for your life and keep it pushing. And don't never stop learning. Like you got to learn every single day. Like, and it's crazy. It's just crazy, bro. Like you literally got to learn every single day.
You gotta put one foot in stuff on. You can plan out but you gotta kind of expect everything. I think you said that earlier. You gotta kind of be in the space of expecting anything to happen.
And that's what the space I'm in. Like, you gotta expect anything, even though I don't want anything bad to happen. I don't want to go through nothing. Who want to go through stuff like you? That's the main problem. People get frustrated because we keep going through things, like, and especially as men, like, we gonna go through. You feel me? But
I mean, you're right. As men, like what you're saying, like, to put a magnifying glass on it, bro. Like, as men, we go through a lot of shit, bro. But like, to be honest, bro, not too many people go through what we go through as black men. Black men are hated by got expectations from everybody, bro. Like, and
animals in front of us, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't understand, bro. Animals is in front of us. Like, they treat dogs. They have police dogs that they can't kill. Like, if you kill a police dog, you going to jail. But you can kill a black man and leave him in the street, and you can get off. Like, that's where we at. You feel me?
Like bring that to a space of where the average person had to think about the stresses that you feel as far as taking care of your family and getting yourself together and making sure, like, you always, you good in that kind of space, bro. But now you got to worry about your family, your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, your mother, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got all these things in space that you have to worry about. And it's not just, it ain't just a color thing no more. Because now we was once dealing with purely as black people or African Americans within our country. It's spread now. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody getting a little bit of that action now. You know what I'm saying? Like in a space of, like, it may not look the same, but it's a similar pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's we all in a space of where we're overstimulated, bro. And I was listening to I think it was a reel I heard last week when the guy was saying, like, men are overwhelmed. Like a man honestly can go live in a box if he chose to. You know what I'm saying? Like, go live out in nature, chill. But his concern for everybody else and what they have kind of puts him in the space of always worrying about if he can do it, always worrying about if he's enough, always worrying about if like, where he's supposed to get this lesson from, or is he supposed to how he expect other people to trust him when he can't even trust himself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but those are all the things society tell you that you're supposed to have the answer to. Mm-hmm. That makes sense to you?
Yeah, definitely. It makes sense to me. And it's crazy because it's so tricky because we go through it, and this is not to take. Look, that's why I want people to take. Like, this is not to take anything away from women, because I know that our queens go through a lot of stuff too, but we get the brunt. Like, we get the short end of that stick. We already know that.
Yeah.
We know.
I think now I agree with you, but I think a lot of now it ain't 50. It ain't 50-50.
It ain't 50-50, but because society has came to a point where our women are taught to hate us or not like us if we are not at a certain point in life.
Well, that's a part of the reason why I said we at the bottom of the totem pole. It wasn't just talking race; it was talking about our women. You know what I'm saying?
But then at the same time, it's kind of like we are at the bottom of the totem pole, but society has also taught black men not to protect black women.
So I wouldn't even say that's true. And it's funny you say that on that part, bro, because like I don't know if it was recently we was having a conversation about, I don't know who I was talking to about it, man. As far as but we do protect black women, and I think we understand. If you watch, you see a few things caught on tape where you see like, damn, why you ain't? But a lot of times, bro, when I sit back and I think about the situations I've been in, like, I've always heard, like, I've always seen men, let alone black men, come to a space of standing up for a woman, a child, and things like that. So I like physically, it's like, man, they just said this black, they say every black dude you see is supposed to walk on the other side of the street or he might rob you, got bad intentions. But then you seeing 7 black teenagers chase down a white old man who just kidnapped a 7-year-old white girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, when you sit back and look, it's like the weirdest thing, bro, because it was like the things we're exposed to or how we can think. And I realized that, like, when I was working in pharmacy, where like God blessed me to kind of have relationships with people outside of my ethnicity, right, and have understanding and have genuine friendships. And I think one of the things was going on, like, my brother, man, the situation was going on and with Gaddafi, right, and like, he was mad But the reason he was mad wasn't for what I thought. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, that's not what the media said. Like for real, like they're doing all that. This, how can somebody be mad at somebody that's like you get married and they're giving you tools and grants to start land and grow your food and all that other stuff. So I didn't have access to that until I had a person that was directly impacted by what was going on over there and was from that space. And I think that I was blessed, man, coming from like growing up how I grew up in that space, like getting into that space of pharmacy, bro, really showed me like we look at life from a small scale. And we look at that life from a small scale in every possible way you can think of, man, because like we said earlier, we talked about chasing the bag. Chasing the bag is looking at life from a small scale because, bro, once you get the money, then what? If the economy crashes and you got to go move from here, we got to move from America and then you got to go you somewhere else.
Side note, which it is doing currently. Note. For those who don't know, the economy is definitely crashing right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what you going to do when what you used to value ain't as valuable anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do with it?
Exactly, which is why I said sometimes you got to take your eye off of the bag. And then you got to look over here because chasing the bag will have you with tunnel vision. Chasing the bag have people working jobs for 40 years that they don't like.
But I one up you too, bro, because then like you gotta kind of step back from it. I'm not saying like walk off your job. I'm not saying disconnect from reality. I'm talking about you got to get more space where you gotta step outside of everyday life in society as far as the rat race, what we call the rat race. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta step out. You got to step outside of that, man. You got to step outside of walls and get into the sunlight and get into the grass, and then really like instead of listening to social media all day, like really go through and look through different things, like and just see what's going on in the world around the world. You know, see what's going on in nature, see how nature's responding to what man is doing and all that other stuff, and see really take a step back and kind of see what's going on, man. You kind of see like, whoa, like what the? Hey, wait a minute, like this all seems scripted.
Well, guess what, though? We'll know. Because the same thing you just said, we'll know that, but then we won't even apply it. That's the crazy part. We won't apply it because we so stuck chasing the bag. Like, we so stuck in go mode, we won't even take. Like, bro, you know how long I've known, I've seen people, like, I followed a few people on social media, TikTok and stuff, and they tell you if you do a fruit fast for like 7 days, you will cleanse your body of like mostly all the toxins in there. Have I started my fast yet, bro? No, I have not, because I'm literally stuck. I'm stuck on go mode. Like, so then I make excuses. I do this, I still do my working out and stuff like that. But to completely cut off all food and just strictly fruit and just, I ain't did that yet. I got all the information I need to do it, but I ain't did it yet.
That's funny, because I'm like one of my go-to books that I read, kind of like the Bible, is my cousin put me onto the book. It's called The War of Art.
The Art of War.
The War of Art.
Oh, it's the opposite one.
It's the War of Art. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but it's like a step-by-step guide to what like not procrastination, but resistance. It goes into procrastination too, but it goes into what resistance is, and it tells you, like, it like brings awareness to it in a weirdest way. And like one of the things I remember saying in the book was, it said that resistance is tricky, and its whole job is to keep you from doing what you need to be. So it can come in any form. It can come in family problems. It can come in issues from you, low self-esteem. You know, it can come in the form of sex. It can come in all types of things to keep you from doing your mission, right? But then when you start, it makes you kind of look at things at what's that loss, right? You know what I'm saying? Like or what you're losing, and it's saying that it gives you, it puts in a perspective of the way where, man, it kind of bring it to your mind, like, yeah, but what's really stopping you? Like, yeah, you say all that, you're creator, you do all this, but like you say all these things that stop you, but let's talk about what really stops you. I don't know if I can find it. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find an example. You got that joint?
It's this one, bro.
I can't see. Yeah, that's it.
I see that joint 2 hours and 54 minutes. I'm definitely about to tap into that.
What'd you say?
I see that's almost 3 hours long. I'm definitely gonna tap into that.
Yeah, bro. Like
I can finish that at one time.
So like one of the chapters, it says resistance is impersonal, and it goes into say resistance is not out to get you personally. It doesn't know who you are and doesn't care, Resistance is a force of nature. It acts objectively. Though it feels malevolent, resistance in fact operates with the indifference of rain transits the heavens by the same laws as the stars. When we marshal our forces to combat resistance, we must remember this. You see how like it kind of break things down and say we're wrong if we think the only one struggling with resistance, everyone who has a body experiences resistance. But then it goes into tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like it just tells you like how you start to see why certain people, once they realize what they're dealing with, how they're so ambitious and kind of take anything on that comes that way. It was a book, man, that kind of that sparked me out of my slump and dealing with, you know what I'm saying, writing my book. Like dealing with this book, I completely had my book in one direction, but then like over the months, I'm glad I waited because now it's going in a totally different direction. It's allowed me to dig deeper and get more perspective about some of my traumatic experiences and where I was. You know what I'm saying? So like this book, man, really did spark like just to keep it going and motivational. But yeah,
and that's how I be feeling about my book too. Like I feel like I wrote it because I wrote it so fast. That was like because I was ambitious. Like when I made my mind up to write it, I didn't stop. I stayed up. I'm talking about 16 hours, 17 hour night sometimes, just writing, typing, trying to get it done. And then I got it done. I sent it to the editor. They sent it back. And then I just sat on it for a minute. I read it through again. And I was like, I don't know if it's ready yet.
You got to press up.
I'm in a huh?
You got to press up.
No, I didn't get it pressed up or anything like that because I didn't know if I was doing physical copy or if I was going to do a digital book.
Oh, okay.
So, but I got the cover. I got the format is already formatted for digital like release and everything.
Digital is where it's at now. Like digital is probably where you want to go first.
Though, because ain't too many people. I don't think too many people. I wasn't gonna have like a few like on hand, maybe like 50 copies or something, and then do the rest of them online and just promote it on like social media, TikTok, stuff like that. But I haven't released it yet because I don't know, bro. It might just be me being scared for real because
I
ain't no
book. If you need advice, my homie, she does, but she's a book coach, so she can kind of give you some direction in that way.
You definitely put me on. Ella said she's still about actual books.
So that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say too next. Like as I know, like I'm a book guy. Like I do audio as well, but there's something about just taking it in with my eyes, and because that's a space where for me, man, that's a coping strategy because it slows me down. You know what I'm saying? Like so, because I have to take down, I have to read each word. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I'm doing like a law thing when I'm just going through absorbing information, trying to catch something major. I have to go through and look at the cat went to the store. You know what I'm saying? Like so that like it's just. It's weird when you're in a state of survival and all the time you're never in a space where you can kind of sit back and figure out who you are. There's no way. So like you said earlier, some of us are putting that space every day and from childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like so now, you know, with a lot of some things you were talking about where you can kind of we were trying to agree and disagree on was where like the kind of things that you see and how they impact you, right? Of like you speaking on some things you can't talk about versus you saying you can talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like so it like hitting it from that side of things, you kind of I don't know, bro. Like it's just I don't know. It's just weird, man. I can't put it all in the words. I feel like I can sometimes, but then I lose it. That might be my ADD.
No, you good. You're good. Yeah. Sometimes it's just hard to explain it. Like you know exactly what you're trying to say, but you just can't get it out.
Yeah, I can't put it in the words, man. Like, but it's ultimately back to the show is the title of the show is You Can't Life F You Up. You can't because it'll let you. You don't want that's something you don't want to F around and find out because it's there. And when you get to that space, man, you so nonchalant. Like a lot of people that get to a space of letting. My mama did the Henry. I put that up there. I ain't want to say all that, but I'm gonna go ahead. Since you said it right there, I'm gonna go ahead and put it up there. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's and she told me she was going out. Like, it's about to be good too. So, Ellen, yeah, I'm glad you said that. I've been wanting this. I didn't know if I could fully say like the involvement with it. So I mentioned like they had ties, but never in depthly. But yeah, Hope wrote the Henrietta. Hope Ella's mom wrote the Henrietta Lacks book. One of them. but no, man, like you get into a space of where you constantly on a goal, you constantly running, you constantly in survival mode, that you don't get to just stop and take in things, right? And that like reading for me makes me stop and take care of each word, and then getting outside and walking around, even if it's in the morning for 2 miles around along a pond or through woods, is giving me a stop and take in, like, hey, bro, that's a big ass turtle right there. You know what I'm saying? If I can stop and just sit down and just kind of just
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I love you too. But you know what I'm saying? Like you sit down, man, and you just it makes you feel like a bee fly past your head too close. You smack in your ear, and you just like, what? Mm-hmm. Kind of, it's weird ways of bringing you in the moment, bro. Like we've been taught to run away from a shot room that we actually need. And then when you start seeing that, you start seeing like how you start learning like, or at least I did, where you, bro, like it ain't too much. We ain't too far from nature. Although we try to separate ourselves from it, we're a species. We're, you know what I'm saying? We're mammals that require the same thing that other mammals require. But if you look at how life is structured today, it's completely into this. It's into a rat race or a maze, man. That we weren't built for, or we weren't made for. We had a biggest purpose in life before all of this stuff, before the Industrial Revolution. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you look at like just that, you lose a lot of the things that, man, like knowing what natural products cure certain things, which natural plants cure certain ailments that we struggle with as mainly a society. And you go into a space of like the traumas that we have wouldn't even exist. You know what I'm saying? If we were in a space of, not to sound crazy, but like tribe, and you can think of tribe as like modern community. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like so it's just a situation that we're living in, man. It's so toxic because I believe we weren't meant to live in this space, bro. Like we weren't meant to be
going away. We weren't meant to live in this space. Bro,
I think about it. Dick Gregory put out a conversation, man, where he was breaking down the amount of hours that we're supposed to work in a day. You're supposed to work 8 hours, but the average person works how many hours, right? I then break it down how many days in an hour and how many hours are in a day. You know what I'm saying? And then going into how many hours do you sleep? And then going into the space of, okay, what are you doing with the kids after work? Or what are you doing with yourself in between that time? So really, how many like everything about you is tied up into a schedule. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then look at the things that they told that was told is the food pyramids back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like it was just like everything on that pyramid now known to cause something like a lot of stuff on there now known to cause like some of our major health deficits that we have now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we're in a space, man, where we step outside of nature and we don't know the basic things for ourselves. We can't grow our food. So therefore, we can't grow our food. How can we tell you if the land is good? If we can't grow our food, we don't know nothing about soil. How can we tell you what you're doing with these major companies and these spills, how detrimental it is and how wrong it is and why you should stop? Because we're not. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like now you're uneducated and you're ignorant and not on purpose. It's held back. You know what I'm saying? Like so. It's in a space where like I really like I don't have people ask me all the time like how do I fix it? Like you are the only person that can fix it, right? But then you have to be in a space of knowing you. So it might not even be walking through the lake. You might like swimming, bro. Go get your ass in the water twice a week and make it mandatory that you get in the water once or twice a week. Because even when you don't feel like it, if that's what you like the majority of the time, you're gonna love it. You're going. That's gonna make you feel better after about 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Swimming in there. If your thing is working out, then go work out. If your thing is going to volunteer and working around older people, then go older folks, the older families, then go out there and go work with the older families or special need people. Like whatever it is that gives you that peace where it grounds you.
That's your thing, and that ties in hand with finding your purpose.
But the only way you're gonna find your purpose is if you realize like you just chase the bag. And you're making $300,000 a year, but
it's not satisfying you.
It ain't satisfying, and then you start to see how people that have it commit suicide. And
exactly. Just think about all the rich people that done killed themselves, or the way that rich people like drown themselves with drugs because they're unhappy.
They're unhappy, and you trying to and yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Like being careless and all that other stuff is fun.
Now, let me speak for the majority of the people in the world. I will take a being rich problem. I would take that problem. So and I figure out the rest later. But look, See, they don't have a. They just don't have a money problem.
I
they
used
still
to agree
deal with other stuff.
No, I used to agree with you, right? I do, but now I'm looking in the space, man, where just this folks don't have as much control as we think. So with this shift in economy, bro, watch how many people that were amongst that space are going to be quickly where we are, and then watch the survival of watch the survival watch I guess the survival characters of the difference. You know what I'm saying? Look at it from when these people. Look at it. You can go back and look at it now. Go back and Google a lot of millionaires and where they are now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you like they have a genuine story because that's what it was genuine, right? But then
I feel like I kind of believe well, it ain't even that I counter. I believe in what you're saying, but I feel like it's gonna be totally different from what like that perspective though. I feel like we gonna get our power back. You feel me? I feel like it's coming in our direction because
that's the part where
especially with the Alabama thing, like that kind of opened up my eyes.
So that's the part where I hear it, like I agree, right? But not how you think, right? Because when I sit back and man, like when I thought about when the Freddie Gray incident happened, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna help him clean it up, and I had my daughter down there, my cousin had, you know what I'm saying? We was done that joint, getting in, like helping get things back. But I understood why it happened. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it needed to happen in that space because like there was like the stuff that them kids brought attention to, bro. Like it's been going on for decades. Nothing really changed. You got more money coming to the city. You got more people. You got more positive black males stepping up in the community tremendously, and you got a lot of companies doing some good things out there now. But before that, bro, like it was bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it was horrible. You know what I'm saying? So I seen that and I understood why it happened. I've seen the good stuff, but it's
piece by piece. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen in big chunks.
So seeing all that happen, right? And then you hear about what happened with the civil rights movement and Dr. King, and you hear about Malcolm X, and you start digging deep into you start digging back into the other black historians in that space, man, where you start saying, bro, this fight, what we saying and what we talking about in this way, it's been talking about for almost 100 years now in the same situation. So what I got out of that, I got that, man, like right now, everybody, and that's why it's purposeful for me because I realize that this podcast thing may not be the part where the money comes from. This is me just helping somebody reaching that one person, right? Exactly. So it's in that space where it's like, all right, let me just go ahead and make sure I'm impactful in that way. So it's because whether the money comes with it or not, it's not going to change up the dialect. It's not going to change. No. You know what I'm saying? Like my purpose behind what we're saying, but bro,
there's growth in what we're doing, and that's why I feel like we click so well because we kind of got the same goal in mind. Like we kind of got the same goal in mind where it's not about the money, it's more so about the impact. You feel me? Which is why it's so easy to do this every week. Like I don't mind doing this every week because I love the conversations. I love growing. I love connecting with each other, seeing different perspectives. I just love all of it, bro.
Nah, but that's the funny thing about it, man. Like talking to Kay, I got kind of a perspective when you coming from. I'm like, when she was talking, I was like, hey, bro, like, ain't no doubt in my mind that God put all this together when we sit up on and talk about where we were in that space of like how it's supposed to work, like how the thing's supposed to fall together. Like I don't care about like having a big production behind it, but this thing to be talked about. But I don't want to just talk about what I went through all the time. You know what I'm saying? I want to kind of give a broad perspective. So that's why I got to the space where I'm gonna build this show like for anybody, like my friend, anybody want to get on there and want to help for that platform. I got something to say to help build that thing within reason. But this ain't just for me. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And when I heard when you talk about the clothing line and all that, bro, it was just like, oh, it's a bigger plan. Like it's a. I see you putting it together. I still don't know what you're putting together, but I'm starting to get an idea that this ain't this ain't no coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something bigger going on, especially where I was with this I struggled bad on, bro. That's my wife. I struggled for like a good year before I hopped on and started posting anything. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And it was like
behind it.
It's like everything kind of. I don't know, man. I sit back and I just like I peep how the stuff came together because like Ian seeing my story.
Facts.
and seeing my story on TikTok. He put me on to you. I hit you up. Then we, man, like it was just crazy, like the timing, because it wasn't even immediate. Like it wasn't like soon as I did Ian podcast, it was me and you, because some time had went past before. Like it was like perfect timing type. Like it was dope though. Like
right. It was weird, man, but but like you said, it's like up until the time I heard, like I literally one day I was asleep, bro, and it was I told people in detail, if I tell you how God come to me, man, you would think I was crazy. You would think I was really like crazy. I was out of bipolar, right? Because like literally, man, like he woke me up out of my sleep and was like, "You got to go now." I'm like, "What? Like, why? Like, all right, Lord, maybe one of my cousins is bad. I got you. Maybe it's one of my cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to hear this joint. I can't call him right now, but he need to hear this message, bro." And like outside of that, like I got overwhelmed by the people reaching out. You know what I'm saying? Like after they found out what was going on, and I was like it overwhelmed me to the point where I was embarrassed because I'm like, damn, like what, like. And I kind of got offended a little bit. And my wife, I was like, babe, like, why do you think I'm still in that space? Like, I'm not. Like, it's like, babe, they're not saying you in that space. Like, but you got to understand, like that's you. You went through that. Like, and she was like, I've never understood my wife when she said that. I'm starting to get it now because she was like, you had people responding to you in that way because you are the person you are. You're you. And they're worried about you. They're trying to figure out, like, how can you go through that? Like, how could you have been in that space? How can you have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when I started to put it that way, man, and I started to see, like, I started to get people like reaching out and talking about some of the things they went through. It was like, okay, that it's more than just somebody. It's a lot of somebodies out here that even me just talking about it, giving them the space of like, hey, well, I wasn't the only one. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that one of that thing was me getting molested. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was. Once I did that, man, like it's like people reached out and just let me know, bro, like I wasn't alone, and I like, nigga, I damn near cried with them while they was telling me what they went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, and understanding like where you just like, man, we got life all wrong, bro, and if we really got back to a space where if we had the love and support of community that we had during segregation and all that now, bro, like the world would be a different place. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the stuff that we talking about wouldn't even be on here.
We ain't the only ones that know that. They know that too, which is why they pump so much other stuff in the way they pull that apart. They know that. We ain't the only ones that know our power, bro.
You know what the scary thing is, though, bro? Like, I agree, right? But I'm thinking like a step ahead, like, bro, like, whatever, like, if, like, a lot, just listening to the dialect going around, like, even on social media, I know that's the algorithm, a lot of things, but it's a lot of people within these algorithms, bro, and it can't be a coincidence, talking about and whether it's I'm talking the real woke now. I'm not talking about this new woke stuff they talking about today. I'm talking about the real woke. They know, like they talking. I'm not, and it ain't just color. It's on woke.
Oh no,
it's woke people. Period. Now, man, where they coming along and putting things together. So whoever is in this space of orchestrating this thing to where it is right now, you know that it had to be calculated that things are going to that worst case scenario. So where do you think that nuclear war talk comes from and all that other stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like they're not just going to let things change. Well, they're going to go out with a bang. You know what I'm saying? They like to kind of make something. That's my biggest fear. That's the part where it's like I'm glad that I have the financial literacy around money and economies the way that I do. I'm glad now that I can sit back and think about how to grow my food for my grandfather. I can build something because my grandfather showed me. You know what I'm saying? Like I can build something real basic to survive in if we had to, because my grandfather, I can have a homestead. I know how to, I can take care of animals and all that other stuff. I can read the signs of the earth and see when a drought and things like that are coming into play and what you should do in a drought and how to get the water from a certain source to another. Like, so when you growing up and how I grew up, bro, you told all that stuff is wrong, right? And then you're forced to get outside of. I was always in the woods catching snakes and learning with different snakes that was in my community and my neighborhood, just salamanders and spiders and daddy long legs, or holding them up and catching birds and birds trap, bro. I was a weird little motherfucker growing up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So, but I wasn't weird.
You wasn't weird at all. Society told you was weird.
Society told me I was weird, but you know what? I didn't realize where it came from. Not realizing that my mother's father, bro, was a doctor. You know what I'm saying? And then my mother's mother was a nurse back then. And then I'm seeing these pictures back then where I'm like, bro, like on both sides, my grandmothers and these social clubs, man, where it's a bunch of beautiful black women, like with gloves up to their sleeve. They look like they having a good time, you know what I'm saying? Like organized, but down you look at it now, bro, you're like, ain't none of that stuff going on. Like nowhere near that stuff. And just think about if you took the idea concept of community back then and applied it into the concept of community that we have now, whether we like it or not, bro, community now doesn't look like one race, one culture. But if you apply the same concepts, you think it won't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just.
That's my biggest thing. That's like my biggest message that I be pushing, like in my TikTok videos, is like, this is not about race. It's not about race. It's about right versus wrong. That's all it is. Because it's so much right. It's so much race and division going on. We lose sight of what's right and what's wrong because we too busy fussing about the stuff that don't even matter. You feel me? Like, so I don't even try to get into them little debates and stuff. People, they want to debate everything. They want to, is God real? Is he fake? Is it like, is the Bible real? Is the Bible fake? You worried about that versus what's right and what's wrong. Meanwhile, we fussing, and the people who gave us the book either way.
But you know what pissed me off about that, bro, is like you get in this debate with people who don't even know what's in the Bible. Like the people that debate has never sat and read the Bible from front to back, because if you did, then you'll realize that just within that space, you can, like, yes, there are absolute truths and facts within that space, but you have to have discernment. It tells you that in the Bible to have discernment. This thing has been passed down for eons, bro. You think somebody ain't right? Hey, I'm about to put it right. Devin was the ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then pass it on like 1,500 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I look at it from a perspective of like, I take everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I say to a space that I've learned to speak to God through Christianity, right? And that's kind of how I evolved on my relationship with God. So I don't deny and say nothing is real. I say, like, why do I have to go through a third party to talk directly to God? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
long as what you feel, what your relationship is real, that's all that matters.
But that's the part where a lot of people struggle at, bro, because it gives people a lot of confidence because they feel like what they're dealing with, what they think is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's, and if you read the Bible, and if you read the Quran, and if you wouldn't read the materials of any other religion, bro, you would sit back and you would see that a lot of things that we say, although it's the same thing, it's the same laws, the same bylaws. You know what I'm saying? Like, in every religion you have is extremists.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Every one of those books has truth in it. But see, we so focused on the division part, we don't even realize that.
You don't even realize it. Like if you step back and looked at, okay, you brought even down to the simple fact that, like, let's just say, well, apostolic pastor versus what can I think of? Apostolic versus Baptist. You know what I'm saying? Like
we had this conversation, like even amongst Christianity is division. Like, you got Kojic, you got Baptist, you got Zion, you got Methodist, you got, man, it's so many different denominations, like, but everybody's supposed to be believing in the same thing. But we so focused on the division, we ain't even focusing on the fact that we praying to the same person. Like, it's crazy.
And
our books and our texts are telling us the same thing. It's just,
but that's the part I was telling you. That's the part that we started off with. These arguments wouldn't be happening if people read front to back and anything. You know what I'm saying? Because if you are truly, like, that's what they say, that they say, if a man who knows anything, he knows nothing at all. If you stop to think about that, bro, like, nothing that we read, whether it's been hundreds of years of research done or not, is staple. All this stuff is good until it's proved that it isn't. And if you look back historically, a lot of stuff has been proved that it isn't. It isn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when that makes sense. That makes fuck. Like, it's just. But we've been being,
what you trying to say is the same thing. Is we focus on the wrong thing. We focus on the wrong thing.
We focus on the wrong thing, bro. We expect other people to have our best interests when historically they've shown that they have the powers that be have, or whatever. I'm not even gonna say. I don't even want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. Whoever running this joint is like whoever got the keys to this joint to make this thing work, to make the decisions, bro. They know like this is it's not working.
Exactly. So like, though my whole point is we too focused on the arguing part, like, because everybody want to be right. You feel me? Like everybody want to. People on this side want to be right. People on that side want to be right. Everything is division. You got Bible believers, non-Bible believers. You got Democrats. You got Republicans. You got like black versus white. You got light
vax
skin
versus
versus dark
non-vax.
skin. Baptist versus this. Christianity versus Muslim. Like, it's so much division. We focus on the wrong thing instead of what's right and what's wrong.
Look, hey Ella, I'll catch you later, man. Thanks for joining the conversation. We'll
appreciate
see
you, Ella.
Get your rest. We're gonna hop off in about 12 minutes.
For sure.
But go ahead, my bad.
No, you good. I was just saying, like, if you take a step back and you look, and you will see that it's so much division that we not even paying attention to the stuff that's actually really going on, the stuff that's really affecting us on a daily basis.
That's part of that overstimulation too.
Exactly. Like they pumping, you getting pumped with, man, I don't even want to get into it, bro. I want to say you get pumped with food that's killing you. You getting pumped with social media, TV, commercials, social programming. Man, bro, the list goes on, bro. The list goes on. Like,
they do, man.
And it's a big reason why. This is the last thing I'm gonna say on the topic, because I don't want to get blocked or banned. Or like that.
Look, I already got to go back and we get banned in like 34 states or 34 different countries. Every time I do, I gotta go back and contest it every show, bro. I don't know what it is.
That's crazy, but it's the reason why they trying to get rid of TikTok, because because it the way the algorithm works on TikTok, it puts people who think alike together.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem, because that's where you're starting to see a lot of the woke people.
But you gotta understand, like, that's warfare too, right?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta understand, but that's a necessary evil. Is necessary.
But that's also, I believe this too. I believe that if anybody has read The Art of War, you know that Hunter's teaching in that space of war without physical violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when what's the best way to get to a country that was like ours? Through greed. So this thing was going on for years, where that algorithm, it is exactly how you said it, right? But that side of it, what people miss is that the algorithm they have in China, is for their kids, is smiling dogs, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like happy things. What they feed their kids and what they allow them to pour is different. What the adults see is different, because they know that with anything, the biggest thing is psychology. So that's why I like talking about mental health and mental illness, man. You think about, I acknowledge mental illness to this day. I acknowledge everything that I've dealt with that has been named, especially within bipolar, everything that's lifted under that space I went through. But I also realized that the value the value or the anticipation of me not being functional mentally for this society to work the way it's supposed to work, right? Because then I'm not supposed to think. Now I'm supposed to just do, right? And on that medication, I got to a space where I gave in, and from severe depression, and now I'm in that space, bro, where now I'm just a robot, just coasting along in life and not really just go, all right, do that. All right, do this, do that. All right, do that. Feel this, feel that. Don't feel this, don't feel that. And now it's just back into the space where nah, I was depressed. I got out of that. Now it's a part of life. All right. If there was something that I would have liked, if I would tell a younger version of myself, what would I tell him? Hey, bro, it's gonna be some hard times, but you can get through it, and you will get through it. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta stay, like we say now, 10 toes down on who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like forget what you think you are, forget who you think you are, forget how good of an athlete you are. All that's good, that's great. But if you're not standing 10 toes down on who you are, bro, you setting yourself up for failure. There's a lot of people out here, they say, 50 said, damn, homie, in high school you was the man, homie. A lot of them out here, bro, but it's real, because you get it. You start off from a lot. You start off with some great some endurance and speed, but what happens when that marathon get going? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If you ain't conditioned right, you can be done before the first mile, before the first half.
And this is why what I said last week, I said, when motivation is done, where's your discipline? Because if you discipline, your discipline gonna kick in after your motivation wear away. Because you can be motivated, you can be pumped up, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But when that feeling goes away, when life punch you in the face, are you gonna be disciplined enough to keep going?
Yeah, that's a tough part. That's the part. That's the only part. That's the part you need. You need that discipline. You need that faith.
And I'm real enough with myself to know that sometimes I'm not disciplined enough to keep going. Just like I told you, I just went through a situation in last past week where I haven't been posting like I supposed to. Like, so I know I'm honest enough. That's a big part of being able to grow. You got to be able to be honest to yourself because you can't. People lie to themselves too much. Stop lying to yourself. Like you tell yourself, yeah, I'm fine. Da 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 da. No, you're lying. Just it's okay to admit it because it's room for growth there.
Yeah.
If you can admit that, okay, I'm not as strong as I should be in this area, that's telling yourself that, okay, I can grow here.
But just acknowledging that, you don't. It keeps you, like you said, it keeps you from staying there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Either way, it's just, it's. I don't know, bro. Like I think when you think about like talking about this stuff, man, I can get overwhelming within itself sometimes because like the title allows me to be in a space of breaking it up where the stories can go anywhere, the dialect can go anywhere. But that like you can't just let life F you up, man. That's when you lost the fight. That's the fight.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you realize life effing you up, I mean, you either got heart or you don't. And the only reason you don't have heart because you choose not to use it. It ain't because it ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's man like you have to realize that the things that are directly in front of our face aren't meant to keep us at our healthiest, and that's in any aspect, physically, mentally, spiritually. It's made everything in front of us. We're made to question from 20 different angles. But like, if you go back and learn the basics of just research and what those standards are, and how scientific methods work, and how basic economy is, and things like that, you'll start to understand like things ain't the things that they were giving you was valuable, but we was missing it because it was the wrong time to give it. You know what I'm saying? So you apply those concepts into a space of today. You get your diet back in order. You try to get out of the toxic environments. The toxic environment can be your house. It can be your neighborhood. It could be, you know what I'm saying? Like anywhere you can get out of that. If you got to get out of that for a few minutes and you can, man, step outside and take the deep breath, get your breath straight. Acknowledge the red bird in the tree. You know what I'm saying? So look at the ant carry a leaf twice its size. You know what I'm saying? Like easily. Like just really just sit back and just think, man, and just let that take you to where you probably are, man. And go back to that space where you dig deep. Like if your true purpose requires you to dig deep in places you ain't even know existed. You know what I'm saying? And that's within yourself. Like we all think we within ourselves, bro, but very few. I believe that very few of us know how to dig deep within ourselves, or are willing to do that, or have done it. You know what I'm saying? So you see it. It's you see the work. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter how you dress it up. So
exactly,
man. I talked myself out. Normally I wouldn't do these type of shows tonight, bro. How I feel, man. Like I was like I got to get overstimulated, bro.
But the fact that you did ties into the topic.
And exactly. Facts.
It ties into the topic, bro. And same thing for me, for real. Same thing maybe for Kate going on, I'm saying. But we all on this journey called life. But we don't realize that we own it together. You feel me?
Yeah.
We all going through it together. We might be running separate races, but we're still in it together because we all want to make it to the finish line. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, fact. AK, hope you feeling better, dog.
Most definitely.
But all right, man, we out. We got like 6 minutes. 4 minutes. You good? You good on everything?
We good, brother.
All right, bro. I appreciate the convo again, man. I'll holler at you on next week, dog.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
All right, man.
All right.